Hello, everybody. This is Rebecca Freedom, and this is episode number 64 of Heard Not Seen, produced by John Beethan. Today, I have a head cold, so you're going to get a little extra of the deep tones of my voice and some of the squeaky ones, too. Today's topic is harnessing desire. I can't even tell you how many times I wake up panicked and irritated that I am not in the life of my imagining. And I think we all feel this, like, for those of us who have been single longer than we'd like to be single, there can be this thing called desire of like, well, I want to meet my partner and I want to get married and I want to be with my person. Where's my person at? Where the fuck are they at? And that will send you down the rabbit hole of dating and meeting people and going about the business of your life. And certainly if you want something different, you have to do something different. So that's a really irritating desire to be single and to want to be in a relationship. Conversely, it's terrifying when you're in a relationship and you think you want to be single. You're like, I don't really know if this is, and even more so when you're married, have kids, mortgage, and built a whole life together and decided, okay, that's enough. I recently heard of, I just went to a facilitating training this weekend, Access Consciousness, where I learned about how to shift our points of views and desires immediately so we can have whatever we want, whenever we want, and receive the energy of that right away. We'll be going over that this week. So let's also talk about another fun desire that comes up for all of us. Money. Okay, great. Let's have more of that. Like, what would money create for us? Imagine, and what kind of circumstance did we wake up in? Did we wake up with a lot of money and we want less money? We want more money? This thing called desire is actually something that hits home for all of us. And I, being the word geek I am, decided to go to Eddie online and look up the meaning, the sense of desire. It formed in the 13th century from an old French, and in the 12th century, desire. There's lots of R's in it. It means wish, desire, or long for, from the Latin desiderare, long, wish for, demand, expect. And the other part of desire is to await what the stars bring, from the phrase desidere, from the stars, or from sidus, so heavenly body or star constellation. So often we think, okay, well, if you carry that out more, what is a desire? Like, what really is it us tuning into things that are about to come to build the expectation of, as if a house guest were coming over. And think about that. When we have a guest that's familiar, we often do less for them. When there's a familiarity there, we think, oh, it's just family. My house doesn't need to be clean. A simple apology. When we have a new guest coming into our house, a big desire maybe showing up into our house or home or space, occupying our space, what do? We clean it. We clean that space and we make it smell good. And if you have manners, if you're not a complete Neanderthal and you don't just lack all manners. So desires can clue us in to guests that are showing up in our life. And there's a Rumi quote that said, about that house guest, if there's a meanness, a sadness, a joy, let it come, for they're all here to teach us a lesson, And again, I'll put that in the show notes because I clearly don't have it memorized. What I want to talk about today is like the fact how irritating the longing for, or the gap between what you want and what's actually here is. It is actually so challenging for the not the human spirit, not even the mind, not the imagination. The imagination can cruise all day in the land of desire, but for the body, it can sit there and say, God, I'm in bed alone. I'd really want someone to touch me, or I'd like to get off right now, which, fortunately, if you're born with hands, you can touch yourself at any given moment. But it's not the same. It's not necessarily the same as the amplification of another body coming in and the energy of two, creating more for you. So the first way we're going to talk about harnessing our desires is through the 12 steps, but not just any 12 steps. The 12-step program redone, I would say, by Russell Brand in his book Recovery. And if you just flip to the back of the book, the back cover, steps 1 through 12, I'm just going to read them. And step number 1 is, are you a bit fucked? Step number 2 is, could you not be fucked? Step 3 is, are you on your own going to unfuck yourself? Step 4 is, write down all the things that are fucking you up or have ever fucked you up, and don't lie or leave anything out. Step 5 is, honestly tell someone trustworthy about how fucked up you are. Step 6, well, that's a lot of fucked up patterns. Do you want to stop it? Seriously. Step 7, are you willing to live in a new way that's not all about you and your previous fucked up stuff? You have to. Step 8, prepare to apologize to everyone for everything affected by you being so fucked up. 9 is, now apologize unless that would make things worse. 10, watch out for fucked up thinking and behavior and be honest when it happens. 11, stay connected to your new perspective. 12, look at life less selfishly, be nice to everyone, help people if you can. That again is Recovery, Freedom from Our Addictions by Russell Brand. So one of the things that creates the irritation, the panic, the discord, the discomfort, the unease with our desires and the lists of wanting, I want this, I want a partner, is the first is we believe that we'll feel better in the having of it. And certainly momentarily we will. Having someone go down on you is awesome momentarily, but can you imagine an eternity of someone going down on you? That would get really irritating and chafing and horrible and not fun anymore. And for all you guys, there's only so much cum in the chute. So that would be really unfortunate. And some people are like, yeah, forever, I'll have that for eternity. But again, then we're going into Dante's Inferno kind of arena. So when we have a desire, we think, the first thing we think is, I have this longing, this impulse, and it's not here. The desire is a recognition of expectation of its coming. See what I did there? Yeah. But we're not going to have every meal of our entire lives today. It's going to play out over the course of time allotted to you and your body as you incarnate in this particular realm. That is the third dimensional reality we call Earth and the human experience. That just got a little weird. It just got weird there, but it's cool. Let's go with the weirdness of how do we even talk about existence? How do we talk about desires, and why does it matter? Well, here's why it matters: is because your points of view are creating your reality. Your points of view are influencing the molecules around you. Again, if we study molecular science or even quantum physics, again, not to misappropriate those terms, but what we're aware of at this point in our human evolution is that things are made up of molecules. And some of them have charges, positive and negative. They're ionic. And again, Bruce Lipton has done deeper work on this to look at the molecules and how they influence our lives. And Candace Pert, God rest her soul, wrote a brilliant book called Molecules of Emotion. So one of the molecules that's getting pumped out and driven hard in our lives on a daily basis is dopamine, our reward molecule. that gets fired off every time we get a text, every time our phone dings, the blue light from our computers, fuck with our alpha waves in our brain and keep us in sort of an awake, irritated sense. So when we feel a desire, we'll feel irritation, longing, confusion behind it. Like, oh, I have this impulse towards this feeling, something that's trying to birth itself through me. Why has it not shown up immediately? The immediacy of things. We're living in, again, an immediate culture. And when you think about the bombardment of information, the bombardment of energy that comes towards us, there's a bit, you could trace that and say it's a bit of a violent energy. It's quite violent. It's pervasive, right? The boundaries of your being can really get taken out by the excess of stimuli, just stimulus. Again, it's the freaking eternal blowjob. It's just not going to be pleasurable after, eternity, because we can't even fathom forever and always. But yet that's how we kind of construct our worlds from points of view, that once they form, they become the things that we live our lives by. So now imagine for a moment, you have no past. There's zero past. Just soak that in for a second. So what remains in a space of zero past and no future? Your body, the being, the molecules around you, and this little thing called choice. Choose. You could choose this, choose this, choose this, choose this, choose this, choose this, choose this. So what would it take to live from that space where everything that we think is only real for the next 10 seconds and the next 10 seconds and the next 10 seconds, that your past is only replicated through the choosing of it, that we choose to struggle with the thoughts of the past. But guess what? It's past. It's done. That is no longer, that physical reality of the time that has passed is no longer happening. Yet we can recall it in our minds and re-evoke the same molecules. Now think about that. I really want to slow this down. You can have an experience with a lover, let's just say, that is ecstatic and poignant and connecting and beautiful and everything that your body required at that moment, and thereby together you created this symphony, this communion of energy. And with every symphony, there's a crescendo, a rise, and then a fall, and then that passes. And then time has a way of rearranging the molecules after that, because you don't stay in the crescendo. To stay in the crescendo then becomes cacophony, it becomes noise, it becomes acidic, it becomes paralyzing, it becomes overwhelming. To stay in that peak space would become insanity. And yet we grapple to stay there. So imagine our thought processes go, we have this beautiful experience, and it comes and it rises and it falls. And then time passes and we're separate from our lover. And yet our mind somehow organizes in a way in the midbrain, the hippocampus and the hypothalamus and in the midbrain, and brings back the energy of that moment through a thought, through a construction of memory. Then what happens? Your body actually starts to release those same dopamine molecules. And yet there's a gap between the seen reality and the imagined reality. And in that gap is this energy we call desire, expectation, waiting on the stars to align. Let's see what happens here. Memory is a fabrication. We know this through many psychological studies. It's a construct where it's basically saying we are ordering molecules to hold particular systems in place. So what if at any given moment you could rush towards your desires and have the energy of them right away, and therefore create a completely different reality? You could organize the molecules in your life to bring you love, money, sex, well-being, excitement, joy, frivolity, all of those things. Imagine that for a moment. Feel that. So the second way to harness your desires beyond working the 12 steps and beyond your inventory and looking at all the places that you have points of view, that's really what the steps do. They take you down this rabbit hole of looking at your points of view, is to use these tools from Access Consciousness. I'm about to drop them and we're going to go through a couple different things. Access Consciousness relies heavily on asking questions to create more possibility and to free yourself from conclusion and stuck points of view. The way they do this is something called the clearing statement. The clearing statement sounds like this. Everywhere I have bought this as true and thrown that into my future, I now destroy and uncreate that. Good, bad, right, wrong, POC, POD, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. Sounds crazy. But if you want to look back at witches and spelling, or even in the Bible where it says, you're made in the image and likeness of God, you have the ability to speak life into things. Our words matter. There's many verses that talk about the power of the tongue, and that's not perverse in the verse. That our words hold meaning and hold energy. So this particular clearing statement says all molecules around us, everything that has held the idea of pain, suffering, anguish, fear, loathing, rage, anger, all of those things that have been held in place to keep the distractor implants of love or envy, and anywhere we're not receiving the full energy of who we be, we destroy and uncreate that. We're telling the molecules, stop holding that system in place and power. Good and bad, right and wrong, the way that we judge things. Anywhere we judge something, we're cutting ourselves off from awareness, which is also a form of stupidity. Anywhere that there was an awareness, but you didn't follow it. Like, for instance, today, I had an awareness that this person I was talking to was going to be an utter distraction and a waste of my time, only to show up and have them be an utter distraction and a waste of my time. And I didn't follow the lightness of my awareness. So, good, bad, right, wrong, POC, point of creation, POD, point of destruction, point of the molecules forming together and moving apart. All 9 is all the different dimensions, boys and beyonds, will be in the show notes. So I'm going to go through a series of things now, and I encourage you to listen to this part of the podcast back again as I do the clearing statement. And then we'll go through some other tools of Access Consciousness so that you can have more of who you truly be and the reality that you desire. The first is, when you think of love and your love life and the points of view of this is good or this is bad. Sex is good, sex 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 is bad. Everywhere that you have bought that point of view, replicated, duplicated, and thrown into your future, would you please destroy and uncreate that? Good, bad, right, wrong, POC, POD, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. So think about your state of being single. The space that you're in where people tell you, just count your blessings, be here now, love what you have, write your gratitude journal, change your reality by being thankful for what you truly have. Everywhere that you've been dismissing your reality through the opinions, suppositions, and projections, expectations of others, would you please destroy and uncreate that? Good, bad, right, wrong, POC, POD, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. Everywhere that you have bought that money creates your reality, instead of you creating your reality, and anywhere you're unwilling to choose for you, choose the lightness and the being that you truly be, would you please destroy and uncreate that? Good, bad, right, wrong, POC, POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So what I'm doing here as you're listening to this is clearing out anywhere you have a stuck point of view that is being replicated, duplicated, and perpetuated into your reality. Anywhere that you bought the lie that you are the state of your relational being has any significance, would you please destroy and uncreate that? Good, bad, right, wrong, POC, POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Everywhere you are choosing significance over awareness, you are living in limitation. Let me say that again. Everywhere you're choosing significance over awareness, you're living in limitation. John is currently limiting himself from coughing because we both have a freaking cold. It's ridiculous. So significance is basically we're saying, hey, form, structure, and order stay in place instead of inviting the chaos. And chaos is actually the invitation of creation, the genesis of being. If you look up the meaning of chaos in Eddie online, you'll find that it means the genesis, the beginning of creation. Chaos does not mean disorder. In the way that we have meant it. It means that the order that's in place is being removed. So everywhere that you have bought that your life is predicated on significance, the significance of your belief systems, would you please destroy and uncreate that? Good, bad, right, wrong, POC, POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Now take a deep breath because we're going to go into some other tools of access consciousness. Now, how do you follow your awareness? What would be a great tool for following your awareness? The tool for following your awareness is something called light or heavy. And instinctually, we all do this when we're following our gut feelings. If something is light, that's true for you. Heavy means it's an untruth, a lie. It is a jail, a judgment, a assumption, and a projection or a lie, and that's just not spelled jail. But we're gonna put that in the show notes again too. So the point is, anywhere you're judging, anywhere there's a judgment in place, is holding a certain point of view in place. So all the judgments you have about your body, about your money situation, about your love life, about sex, drugs, and rock and roll, we destroy and uncreate those. Good, bad, right, wrong, POC, POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So how you follow your awareness and live in the honoring of you and intimacy with you and who you truly be as a being on this earth, as a vessel of creation, is to follow light or heavy, light or heavy, light or heavy, light or heavy. When you are asking your body, would you like some coffee this morning? Oh, that feels heavy. That's a no. You don't have to shove coffee down your gullet because it's a freaking pattern that you've done before. You can choose again. You can choose new for you. Body, would you like some sugar? Because we have so much judgments against sugar, and yet we need it. We need glucose for our organs to fire. We need salt for our body to fire. So anywhere you have judgment against a particular food or structure of food, destroy and uncreate that. Good, bad, right, wrong, POC, POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Another really quick phrase to clear any stuck energy that you have and to harness your desire to be able to realize it in physical form is to say everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Now take a deep breath, come into the space, and start to be in communion with your body. Start to feel the molecules in your body. Start to be curious about the thoughts and feelings and impulses you're having. Well, this is another tool of access consciousness, is to say, is that mine? Is that even mine? Because when you become more aware, you become psychically aware of the chatter of minds, much like the movie Bruce Almighty, where he became God and then he heard all the prayers and all the wishes and all the projections coming in. It just got too loud. It's like his inbox got filled with emails. And it's like every day, the peace that we truly are, the peace that passes understanding, gets cluttered, bombarded, again, violently bombarded by all the molecules of points of views around us. And we have a choice whether we want to buy those or not. So another tool is to say, when you're starting to feel an irritating desire, you can say, is that even mine? And then you say, return to sender with consciousness, return to sender with consciousness, return to sender with consciousness. Now, this is all a way to channel and harness your energy so you can have more of who you truly are, because ecstasy, joy, is being who you truly be. Being the being that you truly be, inhabiting your body, inhabiting your life. The last question I'll give you is, how much space can I expand to change this? How much space is required for me to change this situation, whatever it is? How big can I expand out? And then again, I'm going to add one bonus, because I just said lastly, one bonus is anywhere in your life that you're having a hard time realizing your dreams or feeling stuck in your desires, you can simply take a breath, close your eyes, imagine your energy expanding out throughout the planet, throughout the universe. As you imagine it just expands out. We also limit ourselves with the point of view that this is my energy and I have a finite amount of energy, when in fact, you're an infinite being with unlimited supply to choose from anything. So with that awareness, send your energy out, and then pull, say simply in your mind, pull from all edges of the universe, pull all the molecules in, pull through your ex-boyfriend, pull through your boss, pull the energy through all the molecules, everything, pull that energy to you, pull that energy to you, pull that energy to you. And from this place, instead of feeling irritated by desire, instead of looking at the isness of things and saying, I don't have my lover here, the money's not in my bank account, you simply allow for more choice. What can I choose now? Choose, and then choose, and then choose, and then choose. So that is the energy and essence of the 12 steps by Russell Brand and Access Consciousness melding together, and in a system and a program that I offer people by meeting with them in person and doing something called bars, which is 32 points on your head that hold all points of view from this lifetime and other lifetimes. And running those bars helps clear and create more reality, more of what you want and more of who you truly are. So thank you for this podcast. This was a fun one to do, and everything that it brought up for you, we destroy and uncreate. Good, bad, right, wrong, puck, pot, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. If you're curious about having more of who you truly are and realizing your desires right away, please reach out to me at RebeccaFreedom.com. That's REBEKAH freedom.com. And also read all the show notes. Thank you for listening, and be set free.